Welcome to the Pit Check, your breaking news and album reviews for the best new metal and hardcore music each and every week. Dude, real quick, I just want to say I'm so proud of you guys. The comment section on these videos lately have been just filled with recommendations for tons of deep cuts and bands that didn't end up on this show, and now we're even seeing more comments like, hell yeah, this is why I love the comments here. So dude, thank you guys. I love that this community is just so tapped in. And today, hopefully, should be no different. We've got some insane new albums from some really sick new death metal, hardcore punk, metalcore, and even some deathcore and slam bands. So, you know the drill. Without too much yapping from me up top, let's just get right into my recommendations for this week's craziest new albums. French hardcore goes crazy. The metallic hardcore band Beyond the Styx has released their fourth studio album, Divid. If you're sick and tired of the same three chords in modern hardcore, this is the band for you. Holy shit, the creativity from these guitarists is insane. Each song is a barrage of high-octane, hyper-technical riffs, while also managing to give each song its own personality and flavor as a whole. I am blown away by this band. This being their fourth album actually makes a ton of sense to me. They've hit that point in their career where they've found that perfect blend of rage, skill, and maturity. Instead of being, just young and angry, here they've learned exactly how to viscerally express exactly what they're feeling. Knowing how and when to show off while still writing brutal and kick-ass songs with some stupidly heavy and wildly intricate breakdowns. If we can do a little bit of constructive criticism here, I'm only saying this because I love this. In the future, I'd love to see a little bit more range from the vocalist. He's got this mid-range, knocked loose meets Landmarks vibe, but I would like to see if we could mix in some lows maybe to add to that versatility, but I actually really do love his sound and how much he does do within that range. And then my only other note is the same one I always give. Crank that bass, dude. Things are just sitting a little bit more on the higher register for me, but again, this is such a minor gripe on what is a nearly flawless album. I am now a mega fan of this band, and I genuinely think they have the skill to make not just an incredible album like this one, but a perfect one. 9 out of 10, definitely check this one out. Hungry for some brutal new death metal? The slamming brutal death metal and deathcore crossover band Ingested has released their 8th studio album, Denigration. So yeah, let's just address the elephant in the room first. This album had a bit of a delay, given the vocalist had to be fired due to some pretty serious allegations. So last minute, the guitarist and the bassist took over the vocal duties and actually re-recorded the entire album. A move I genuinely commend them for. And honestly, I really like what they did here vocally, with the bouncing back and forth between the two screamers, which gives a lot of range between the two of them and a lot of opportunities for some sick guttural harmonies. This feels like both a great progression of their sound, as well as a return to form to their more technical and brutal roots, with the band saying, quote, musically, it's us pulling every thread we've laid down over the years. Slam, groove, melody, blackened dissonance, and twisting it into something that feels like a definitive statement rather than a reset. This is the sound of being dragged through the dirt and refusing to stay there. Cold school death metal. The Texas death metal band Frozen Soul has released their highly anticipated third album, No Place of Warmth. Yeah, I mean, that name is stupidly accurate. This thing is an icy, menacing, and atmospheric return to that old school death metal sound, but with an incredible production from Josh Schroeder that lets you hear every note of these delicious riffs. Dude, I don't care if death metal purists hate this band, I fucking love this shit. That bass guitar is cranked up and you can hear the strings just like rattling, the solos and the touch of thrash flavor in the riffs and the straight up like bolt thrower worship just hits perfectly for me. And there's even bass drops, which I didn't know I needed from this band, but you know what? I'm happy to hear them. I think one of the things that sort of surprised me the most about this album is just how relatable it is. Yes, it's cold and menacing, sure, but it's also weirdly kind of empowering. It's kind of like hyping you up to take on that next big obstacle in your life without fear. With the band saying the songs are, quote, written to give the listener that extra push and power they need to fight those everyday battles. These songs are built to say, we won't be swept away by the winds. We can and will move forward.
How about some more?
Hell yes.
The glitchy, experimental deathcore band Darko US has released their latest album, Oni 2. Jesus Christ, this band is busy. Tom Barber and Baby J have an insane work ethic. It feels like once a year, every year, you can count on Darko to just melt your brain with something completely unique. Like, this sounds like an alien demon possessed a Sega Saturn. If you've heard Darko before, this is, you know, more of what you'd expect, which is a crazy sentence if you haven't heard them, while simultaneously honing their craft and broadening their horizons. We've still got the nastiest technical and glitchy breakdowns and insane riffs, and these like PlayStation 2 era electronics and synths, but here more than ever we've got a lot more of the dreamy, spacey elements and showing off Tom's ever improving clean vocals, even including some really beautiful ethereal songs, but it's never done at the expense of the heavy stuff. This is a 12-song album, so you know, they've got plenty of room for everything.
Hey yo, wow, let's crush it.
And why not? Let's get all the homies in here for a feature. We've got appearances from Shadow of Intent, Crown Magnetar, Die Young, Cane Hill, and Hollywood Undead, not to mention Alex Kohler. So, you know, we've got a whole Chelsea Grin reunion thing going. Oh, and the fucking voice actor for Gohan? What the hell, man? That's awesome. Go experience this one for yourselves, dude. It's a trip. Real quick, if you want to help out the channel, please make sure that you subscribe or you like the video or comment or send it to a friend or do anything you can to kind of help the algorithm see that this channel is kind of okay. It's pretty decent. We got a decent thing going here. Would love to make this a viable long-term thing, so, you know, help me out a little bit if you can. I know this shit's cringe to say out loud, like, oh, subscribe. But like, come on, we gotta help each other out. So share the video if you can. Do whatever you think might help the algorithm. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and let's get back to the music. German metalcore has been dominating lately. The Ruhr-based metalcore band The Narrator has released their latest album, Phosphor. I really love how melodic and emotional yet absolutely aggressive this band is. They know how to break your heart and kick your ass at the same time. you've been following the channel, you know, I'm an old man. I like my metalcore gritty and gross and abrasive. The modern polished sound doesn't really do it for me. This band, however, is an exception. This is how you do crisp, clean production without sacrificing the actual art of the instrumentation. You can still hear every single note while still feeling the human element. This isn't overproduced, it's just well produced. I also really enjoyed the vocals on this album. I'm so over the falsetto, auto-tuned, and melodined vocals, and I'm even more over all of the Sleep Token wannabe vibratos. We get it, you're trying to get laid. Instead, the cleans here are powerful and bellowing with like a ton of spice at the end of the notes, which leads to these extremely impressive transitions and integrations between the harsh and clean vocals. And shit, I didn't even mention how well crafted all of the guitar work is. The riffs are gorgeous when they're melodic and vicious when they're heavy. I was really impressed with this album as a whole, and I definitely recommend it if you're looking for some extremely fresh modern metalcore.
The king has returned.
The California cult classic beatdown hardcore band xKingx and the quote Inland Empire hyper-slamming beatdown band Ritual of Despair have released this sick collab EP, Portrait of a Weeping Face. Man, you can call this bitch Mjolnir because it is impossibly heavy. How low can you actually tune your guitar? Yes, each riff is somehow heavier than the last and somehow gets slower and slower. This EP is so sludgy and nasty, it's like you're scuba diving in the swamp of sadness. Genuinely though, I really love how bouncy and angry this EP is. The bass guitar is cranked to 11, which I, obviously love. And it adds this overwhelming fuzz to the riffs. And these vocals, Jesus Christ, it's like they're trying to disembowel my ear holes. And I like how the vocalists will throw it back and forth to each other, which allows them to lean into their specific strengths for the specific part of the song and showcase like 30 different screams between them. And there's this sort of haunting, evil atmosphere throughout the entire EP that really feels like the two bands are just trying to drag you back to hell, kicking and screaming. Oh hell yeah, let's get weird with this one. The Blackened prog metal band IATT has released their latest album, Etheric Realms of the Night. Where to begin with this thing? This is unhinged and proggy and has a ripping sax player and tons of off-the-wall instrumentations with like strings and horns and a piano and flute, and with this overall like culty black magic ambiance. It sort of gives me like an Igor meets Rivers of Nile vibe, especially given that the average song length here is like 7.5 minutes. Each song is its own soundscape that takes you on a wild-ass journey with some of the most interesting and technical instrumentation and songwriting on the scene. But despite all of the weirdness, I really like how heavy this album is. It's dark and gloomy, and the guitars are ripping some like really sick death metal riffs combined with some like proggy technical influences, ranging everywhere from like Between the Buried and Me to Deer Hunter. This is a fascinating album. Highly recommended it. Magic the Gathering meets Grindcore. The legendary Grindcore band See You Next Tuesday and the noise solo artist Chop 7 Times have come together for this legitimately insane new EP titled Brothers. Two brothers. Fellow Magic nerds, the title Brothers probably should have tipped you off. This album is a retelling of The Brothers' War, arguably the most important lore drop in Magic's history, with the first half of the album being told from Urza's perspective and the second half of the album being told from Mishra's perspective, leading to, spoilers, demon attacks, mass casualties, my boy getting his eyes replaced by gems, and a cataclysmic ice age. Real talk, this album is definitely a grower, not a shower. I think to a lot of people, this is gonna sound like straight up noise. I mean, it's a half noise album, so yeah, that tracks. But like most grindcore bands that lean into the abrasive and uncompromising technical side of things, the more you hear it, the less foreign and alien it sounds, and the more you can connect with the layers upon layers of songwriting and what's actually going on here. I think this is a challenging but extremely rewarding album. I love when bands have an idea and they just swing for the fences. I think this is going to be for a very niche market, but I think that market is going to love this. Here are 4 new 2000s metalcore and chaotic hardcore bands that you don't want to miss. The UK metalcore band Crowquill has released another incredible new demo titled Erase the Files. I fucking love this band. Their blend of chaotic hardcore and early 2000s abrasive metalcore is unmatched. And this is actually just a tease of what's to come, with their debut full-length expected later this year. And if just these 3 songs have shredded my bones, I can't imagine what the LP is gonna do to me. The Australian metalcore and post-hardcore bands, Alera and Satellites Were Satellite, oh that's cute, have released their split EP, A Selfish Endeavor. This one's going to be for fans of those screeching guitars and panic chords and chuggy 16th note breakdowns and screaming your heart out harsh vocals and emo adjacent singing and dueling vocals with plenty of harmonies, with plenty of controlled chaos and some pretty filthy bass drops. And that goes for both bands on here. I think both of these bands work extremely well together. The metallic hardcore band Wounded Touch has released their latest demo, They Promised Eden, Volume 1. God damn, this thing is relentless. I love how these riffs hit like haymakers. What I don't love is that this is only 2 songs. These songs are fucking incredible, and they sound like they're trying to just rip your soul from your chest. But you can't just give me 2 songs and expect me to not be ravenous for more. And finally, the Glassjaw core band Into Again has released their debut EP, Coins, Currency, Tokens, and Other Related Objects. Not gonna lie, even with all the, revival core stuff going on, this is a sound I never thought I'd hear again, but goddamn is it nostalgic for me. It's passionate, it's groovy, it's messy, it's brutally honest, and has incredible and biting storytelling. And a band like this gets to have the flexibility to be catchy and fun when it wants to be, and like hardcore punk and new metal when it wants to be, and never feels like it's just searching for an identity. They know exactly who they are and what they want to do. I was wildly impressed with this one. Like I said, we had so much to get to today, but here is the full list of all of the new albums that came out this week. Definitely check out some of these bands on the list. And of course, feel free to recommend me any others in the comments below. Again, like I said at the beginning, recommend them to the people at home. Plug your album, plug your band, plug anything I missed. We all love to see it. This community is sick and they all want to hear everything. There's not enough stuff.
The people, they're ravenous.
And as always, feel free to DM me on any of my social platforms, and I'll catch you next week for more metal and hardcore new releases.